beauty right there. More beautiful than your baby. Sure. Now, starting to feel compromised, so we need lip.
Oh my God, people are so clever. The hat.
That put into the
And
fridge.
by lemon, I mean, don't get me started. And you may be asking how many. You can use your half lemon like always. I, however, will be using 125. My God, this is it. Make sure to take out that. Let's chop that too. I'm tired to be here. Let's put salt and pepper. And very important, garlic. By the way, shout out to Danica. She introduced me to technology. Now, please, for the love of God, let's mix.
She's actually a really good
Her
singer.
voice is amazing.
You may be wondering, of course, where is the chile? When you're in this apocalyptic situation, all you can do is put Cholula or Tabasco. Don't you dare try to kill me about that. Try. We'll see who dies first. There you go. Oh my God! I'm done.
She's awesome.
She's funny.
People are so clever.
She's really funny. Anyway,
should
I'm
move
sorry. I
that
didn't
back.
mean to make you watch such a long video.
No, that's okay. Should I move it back? Does that
Oh,
take
are we
both of you?
recording
'Cause
already?
We are.
Oh, okay.
Because I can't see.
We
Are you
recorded
both in
ourselves.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like gamers. We're recording ourselves watching other people.
Oh,
Isn't that what everybody does
okay.
now? We're very current.
Okay. Yeah. This is my messy bun.
The messy bun is awesome. I wish
The
I could
messy
rock the
bun.
messy
So
bun.
I have to confess that late night while you were watching TikTok, I was Googling videos on how to do messy buns.
Oh, Abby was being productive. No
Okay.
judgment.
I think we should make that.
I think so. Oh yeah.
Oh, what is that?
It's a salmon.
Bowl.
I think you can send that to me. Send me that one. Yeah, send that to me.
So pretty.
Like I have these recipes that come and I'm like,
Yeah.
my storage is about full of TikTok video
Oh my
recipes
God.
and stuff
Oh,
like.
and we need a profile picture. Didn't we send pictures?
Yeah, you
around
sent
to
them
each
out.
other?
Do it. Yeah,
Okay, thank
I
you.
just had.
Anyway,
to
hi everybody.
Make sure- Hi,
Yeah,
Hello.
we
Sorry,
didn't
I sent a picture.
promote this at all, but here we are, and I think it's recording so people can watch later.
Yes, they
Right.
can.
So we're on fire today.
we are.
We are. We
We
certainly
definitely are.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
And I'm going to preface it by saying
Does that mean I can't answer?
I'm in. No, you can't. I know what you're going to
You're
tell
now
me.
not in. You're
I-
not in camera.
A certain person who shall remain nameless, author, will have an answer for this. Is what you're going to tell me.
Oh, it's my BB girl, the Brene Brown.
Oh my God.
Okay, go ahead.
And so one of the things I'm reading is that it's rude to ask like your non-binary friends about what it's like to be non-binary because they're not here to teach you. You should go do your own research, which I think is a little much. Right? Exactly, Abby. I'm like, come on. So I'm prefacing because I'm going to ask you, my black friend, how you feel about this as a black person, and I hope you're not offended that I'm expecting you to teach me.
Oh, okay, but let's say this. Let me say this because every time this conversation comes up,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's some type of correlation between homosexuality or sexual identity with being black. Like, I don't understand how that correlation
Because it's a
happens.
minority.
Well,
But
no,
no, it's not because they're not.
you're right.
They're not.
And by me doing that, I cast you as other.
Yes, and I don't
Yep.
like when that
No, you're right.
happens because
You're right.
what I don't like when that happens because in some cases the LGBT community chooses to be in the LGBT community.
Right. And, well, some.
I say in some cases,
Right.
but in no case
Do you choose to
do
be
we
black?
choose to be
Right.
black.
Well, that's interesting. And in my defense,
Nor do you choose
I would
to
say-
share it or not, because you
Tim-
can be homosexual
Right, and
and not
not
share it.
and so
But it's not like you can opt out of,
and I need to watch that because so to me,
Yeah, but I think
But to
that's
me,
education.
No, it
People
is
don't
education.
get how
But-
that could be a problem.
to me, asking you, here's the situation that I encountered that made me feel like I'm racist without realizing it. So I'm
Mhm.
going to ask you as a black person, is no different than me saying to Abby, look, I have some very strong thoughts about the people who've left Venezuela to come to this country. Having lived in Venezuela, can you enlighten me? In my mind.
Yes, yes.
But I can understand how it wouldn't be taken that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm
And
not.
it's
I mean,
hard.
I'm not sensitive about you asking
No.
me to get a perspective.
No,
from
but
a
you're
black
right. You're right,
person.
and
that's not. But the
that
correlation
correlation is. Thank you. I did not think about that.
Yeah, no, like you just asking me is why we have these conversations.
Right.
But to make a correlation for me, I'm not saying this is for
Well,
everybody,
right.
but for me,
I did this. I know I brought it up because it was reminiscent of the LGBTQ conversation in this group.
Right.
Stop asking people who are in this group
Mm-hmm.
or any group to educate you. Go educate yourself, which did kind of put me off because it's like, well, who's going to educate us? Like, if I want to know about a certain community, I can't go to people that I would rather get educated by people in that community because presumably they have firsthand knowledge. Like, who am I going to ask? Somebody who's not in that community? That doesn't make sense.
Well,
anyway, having said all that,
but
you're reading things
brings up a
presumably
really
written by
interesting
people
point.
who are in that community.
Right. You can read about it.
Right.
But I almost feel like there's a part of the conversations that are happening and the awareness that we want to bring to certain areas, but then there's an attitude of I don't know what to call it, but it's almost like a confrontation. Like, don't come at me. Wait a second. If I come up to you, Dawn, and I say, listen, I don't know what it's like to be a widow. Right. Would you like to share that with me? And if you answer me with,
fuck you, why should I?
Right. Then it kind of cuts the conversation, which is actually just something that I'm coming to you with from assuming that we're coming from a curiosity, a concern.
And you're right.
I want to share your burden by listening to you kind of thing. And if that response to what is it like to be, to as a member of the gay community or as a member of the, if it's answered with aggressiveness, it doesn't create inclusion. It doesn't create togetherness.
I think you're right.
Part of that problem is we're having intimate conversations with everybody.
True.
Oh, and I like that. It's not a friend. It's somebody you don't know.
Like somebody you don't know. So you first don't know what's going on with them. You don't even know how their day is going. And then you're a complete stranger asking them something that's personal and that it has been a plight for them.
Correct.
So of course it's gonna put you automatically, if it's a plight, it's something that's sensitive for
already
you.
And causes
so
pain and,
it goes up like boundaries, everything go up to like now, depending on how you defend yourself,
that makes sense.
You could be aggressive.
That makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. I just see it in platforms where things are being discussed.
That should
where it's like, if you don't, I'm curious, I want to learn about this. And the response is, go do that. Like, this is kind of what I'm doing.
Well, and I do think it's different when it's a group that is set up to be a forum for discussion with people you don't know.
That's it. I think there's like
if in that forum
the environment has to be created.
Yes. But
when you don't create the environment, you have the you can't control the outcome, and nor do you want to. But you're definitely walking into a blind area with somebody you don't know.
But if we've created that environment and the group is set up for this, then don't come at me with aggression because I'm asking a question because I want to understand.
No, because all of it is leading to understanding. The reason we do this is for that very reason. So there's nothing that we can't discuss in this environment.
Right.
But I'm not going to go try to have the conversations I have with you guys with two random white women. I might run into a Karen. And then now I got to cuss her ass out and she thinks something wrong with me. Like, I don't know.
Right. And then everybody's in trouble.
And then I'm all on YouTube going live and viral.
Beating her.
Beating her ass. Like,
there on screen.
No.
Oh my God. Okay, so I went to a parent night at a local school that has a particular set of demographics, right? Distribution is XYZ. The distribution at parent night, let's say the distribution is XYZ. The parent night distribution is XYZ. And immediately I have ugly thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why aren't those people here?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe those people need to show up at these things.
Maybe they
Even
work
though
in 3 jobs.
that was my next thought.
Seriously.
But that was my next thought.
Right.
But it wasn't my first thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to really, really examine that.
Mm-hmm.
And my next question is, knowing that parental engagement is important,
Mhm.
knowing that it's a predictor of a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
what can we do so that it looks next time that the XYZ of the student population more closely mirrors the XYZ of parent night?
What are you gonna do? Have
I
them
don't
quit
know.
their jobs? I mean,
No,
like,
what
some
do we
people
do? I mean,
have-
that's
so,
what
I
I'm
mean,
asking. What do we do?
So, you know,
And I'm just,
The same
I'm not
thing
asking you to
happens-
solve
no.
this problem. And I guess I'm not even really asking you something. I'm sharing with you
Mhm.
that even for me, who thinks of myself as like so enlightened,
mm-hmm.
that is the first thing that came to my mind, which is not nice.
But no, to say that you had that thought and to automatically classify it as a racist thought isn't being fair. Because when I go to PTA meetings and I see I'm the only black one in there, I had a thought, now where the hell are all these other black parents?
Right, but
That is so
wait
interesting.
a second. But there's
That's
a
so
difference.
interesting.
It goes back to the cafeteria at high school theory,
Mm,
which is you can criticize your school's
Mm-hmm.
cafeteria, but nobody else can come in and do it. And
ah,
so you have the right to say something,
Mhm.
whereas Dawn, no.
Yeah, but and I'm saying on the sense of, I'm saying that to not to give any room for racism,
mhm.
period, or racist thoughts. To what I'm saying is, when we have these thoughts, that's not racist as a thought. The action of what you do with those thoughts
Oh, I like that.
are
Okay,
racist.
wait a second. Give me an example of the action that you do with those thoughts.
Okay, so if you had this XYZ, so you don't see black parents
Mhm.
there, okay? So if you want to do something and you start reaching out to the parents of the students, and you give more effort and time to the white parents because they come there,
That's racist.
that's racist.
Wait a second. No, wait. You lost me. If I'm giving efforts to the people who are showing up and showing interest, how is that racist?
Well, because they're already showing up and showing interest. You want to bring people who aren't
If you're
there.
giving them more attention and time when they're already engaged.
Wait a second. Okay, so I have a project. Let's say I have a project that I want to do some landscaping here.
Mhm.
And I've got 50 people. And of those 50 people, 10 come forward and they say, I'm interested in landscaping. You're saying that I shouldn't go with the 10 people that are interested in landscaping.
No.
And I should try to recruit,
No.
spend my time recruiting. the
No, I
40
think-
that-
No, you've
school is
identified a
different.
problem. She's identified a problem.
Right.
So her intention now is to remedy the problem.
School, I think, is different from a landscaper, and here's why. Okay. If you're looking for a landscaper and a landscaper doesn't show up to do landscaping,
Mhm.
then you absolutely should not be using that person. But
I'm
this
talking
is
about volunteers.
No, there's a difference. Like what Dawn has identified is an issue where there isn't the same amount of interest, and for black parents to show up to these meetings. That even if that's the case, you identified it, and then now if you are moving towards implementing something to remedy the problem or make it better, and you don't do something to include the people who are already excluded, that is systemic racism, because you've created a system now where you first identified the problem, where first black people not even showing up to this.
But if she's not trying to solve the problem of the black community showing up at PTA meetings, and she's trying to solve a problem that the community has,
But that
their walkways don't work, or the crossroads.
that I think
aren't,
is
like,
different.
that's-
I feel
that's
like
what
I
I'm
feel like
saying.
school.
I think the
I
action,
feel like
I'm
school
saying
is a very specific case.
the thought.
And that's what I'm saying, because we're being so hypothetical.
Oh,
It's
no,
hard for
no,
me to
but you know what?
understand
No,
you're saying.
Actually, I take that back. civic engagement, in my mind,
Right.
is in there with school. Okay, I would say volunteering for something and also looking for a job are two things that are totally in your control, and you can do or not do. And I don't care what color you are. You know, you don't want to volunteer to pick up trash. Don't volunteer to pick up trash. You don't have to.
Well,
Okay?
there's
But civic engagement, which is why I did that thing with the city when I noticed nobody was showing up to CRA meetings, and then everybody was bellyaching about how they didn't know what was happening, even though there were multiple opportunities to find out. You know, I did think about, why aren't people showing up? You know,
Right.
and so I thought, and what can I, with my total lack of knowledge and how to do any of this, you know, how can I educate myself, and what can I learn about what would make people show up, right?
Mhm.
Food, music, Friday night, bring your kids.
Mhm.
And that was how Music on the Water started, which then turned into the, not Untapped, the other thing over by Harbor Village, and then Untapped eventually.
Right.
And I'll never forget when I went to the city or the CRA and I said, you know, if we have some money for this, here's our money, and can you match it, and here's a budget, and blah, blah, blah. I remember Rex Harden, he was a commissioner then, and he's like, he asked the city attorney, he's like, can we do this? I don't know if we can do this, we've never done it before.
Mhm.
You know, is this a legal use of CRA funds? And it is, because it's community outreach. So what they did was, instead of making everybody go to City Hall, they brought City Hall to the people.
Mhm.
And they had a booth at the Music on the Water with all the plans. And the coolest thing in the world was, first of all, there were all kinds of people there that had never been to a city meeting.
Mhm.
And the second thing was, there was a line like out the gate the whole night in front of that CRA booth, because everybody really did want to know.
Mhm.
They just either can't because they work or they have childcare issues or whatever, or won't because they're intimidated, come to a CRA meeting. So I think for the school thing, here's my thought, is if I am a teacher and parent night turns out like it did last night, and I don't see Black parents, or I see very few, I can choose, maybe there's more paths, but I can think of two. I can say, well, they don't care, so I'm not really going to go out of my way
Mhm.
because they're not interested, right? Which in my mind is racist.
Mhm.
Or I can say, let me do a little digging and reach out to them and see if maybe they work nights. Can they do a Zoom? Would they like a home visit, which teachers used to do?
Mhm.
I can take that extra step to find out why. I think the racist part is in the immediate dismissal of, you do not care about your child's education, so why should I? That's what I
But
think.
also to equate attending a PTA meeting to you caring about your child's
Right.
education is ludicrous, because the
But
amount,
it happens, right? It happens all the time.
it happens, because listen,
I'm gonna put some water in this
I've
break.
attended a few PTA meetings and I'm bored as fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't do
what the
PTA
hell
meetings.
are PTA meetings
I don't
really
do PTA
doing?
meetings.
So if I'm attending a parent teacher conference, or I'm attending a event, something my child is involved in the school, that's me being, involved in my child's education. But a PTA meeting, and the same thing goes, same thing goes for why a lot of Black people don't attend commission meetings or school board meetings. First, because they don't feel like they're going to be heard.
Mhm.
That's like, out of everything,
Yeah.
they don't feel
Like, why
like they
bother?
are going to be heard. And 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, you will be lucky to find a double parent home in Black. So if mom is working and dad is working, who's going to show up?
Right. But I feel like you.
Which goes back to what we were saying. But I think my thing is it depends on what you're identifying as the problem. If I identify a problem, going back to the landscape, that there's landscaping that needs to be done, and we have this green area and we could make it beautiful,
Mhm.
and I have 10 people that come forward to volunteer, I need to focus on the 10 people.
Oh, absolutely.
Even if they're, 10 of them they're all 10 white. It doesn't make it racist because the other people that didn't show
That
up.
I totally agree with.
No, that's not.
If you've identified that the problem is that the Black community is not showing up, and you've decided that you're going to take an action towards that, then that's a whole different story.
But
You see
that's what I
saying?
was saying. Like, I'm that's the thought. Dawn had a thought about why the Black parents aren't showing up. So then now if Dawn does anything to make that situation better, but it does not cater to those people who you've identified aren't showing up, it's systemic. Because what you're doing isn't solving the problem you initially.
So let me see if this makes sense, because I want to make sure I'm understanding. If I say, well, they didn't come Monday for whatever reason, right? So I'm going to keep doing the same thing, having these on Monday nights, and see if they show up. I'm not really addressing what might be other issues,
Right.
but I think the worst side of it is seeing that evidence
And if it's at 5
and
o'clock,
taking it as a lack of caring, and then proceeding as if those kids' parents don't care, so why should I? That to me is systemic, and that I did see a lot when I was teaching.
I mean, I think, one thing I am always conscious of is the fact that racism is for me an action
And not a thought.
and not a thought.
That's interesting.
Because I've had thoughts of killing people. That doesn't make me a murderer.
Right. Although the Bible does say that when you think
I
things,
get it.
right?
I get it. Well, if you think it, you might as well do it. But
You might as well do it, but
That'd be a
I
terrible
believe, and
idea.
I can't quote scripture here,
Yeah.
but I do know that there's something about.
so is a
Right.
man thinking,
of
so
your
is
thoughts,
he.
right?
So yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny because somebody, I don't even remember what the show was, but it was one of the NPR weekly, daily, whatever shows the other day, and they interviewed somebody. She's like a forensic pathologist or something like that.
I wanted to be one of those
my
when
God,
I was
know. Wouldn't that be
growing
so
up.
cool?
I was
Wouldn't
like,
that be so cool?
I would just love to discover whose bone that is
Yes,
buried down there.
fascinating. Oh, that's what it was. She's a crime novelist. And
Patricia Cornwell.
yes, she's not Patricia Cornwell, who I love. But she was saying that, one of the things that's happened as the world gets more developed and more crowded is it's become really difficult to find places to hide bodies. And that when she goes to a place, it's really easy. She's like, oh, I have to remember that from my book. And the interviewer was just shocked. And she was like, who thinks about those things? And I'm thinking,
I do.
I do. I think about those things, right? And it's probably because we watch SVU and we read Patricia Cornwell and all these other things. I totally think about that. And I was so surprised that this interviewer thought it was so weird that anyone would think like that. But I totally get thinking like that.
Which is, yeah.
Doesn't make me a mass
your
murderer.
thought,
But it's
yeah.
those crime
Even
novels.
in your thoughts,
It is.
it's important for us with our thoughts to have control over our thoughts.
That's it. Yes.
Because even though I'm saying I believe racism is an action, I do believe unchecked racist thoughts can also lead to racism.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. Unchecked.
Like you
Like
gotta
you
check it.
See yourself and you stop.
Yeah.
It's like this is what I always say. We're driving along the highway of life. Sometimes we get off. It's up to us to get back into our lane.
Yeah.
And that's
So,
how I
you
felt
know,
last night.
You know,
And I did check the thought. But I was appalled at myself for even having the
Racist
thought.
people don't check their thoughts.
Mhm.
Those are convictions. They are on that.
And they use what I saw last night as evidence that supports what they believe
Yeah.
and gives them
Yeah.
whatever the word
We
is.
are in a time where racism, homosexuality, the LGBT community, like we're in a time where it's okay to be who you are, but it's not okay for somebody to say that's who you are. Like people take offense.
Well, it's just what you were just saying about how you don't want to have conversations with random people.
Yeah.
So yeah, you it's okay to be who you are, but nobody can really say anything to you because then it could be personal.
Yeah.
You don't want this at you.
No, I'm good.
Okay, because I will take it all to myself.
Take it all to yourself. Unless, Erica, you're looking for some.
I'm good. That's a good thing about this melanin. It's like it's like a thermometer.
Right,
It just
that's
does
awesome.
it warms, it cools.
Let's talk in 20 years. See how you feel. Because I'd like to see when
Yeah.
you start going through the blessed
Yeah,
change.
Right.
yes.
Let's see how well that
Listen,
melanin
one thing
works
about
then.
Black people, we love to blame. We love to take the credit and knowledge for everything being on our melanin. Like, oh, you don't have any words of melanin. Oh, you got good memory. The melanin, like everything is the melanin.
Ah,
And
that's
you know,
awesome.
I
Do you guys not get hot flashes? I mean, it seems like
I mean, no, I know
you do.
I know people do. I know people who
Maybe
do.
it's because that's an internal function.
Well, no,
So the melanin's on the other side.
But it doesn't matter. Like if your body is telling you, let's heat everything
yeah,
up a
no,
whole
no.
bunch,
I've
it
never
doesn't have
been
to do
through
with
it, but I know
the
women who
melanin
have.
in
Yeah.
there.
I know Black women who definitely have. I'm
Right,
not
so
saying
it's
that
not
they
a-
don't go through it. I'm just saying that there's melanin. It just allows you to absorb heat.
A lot.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah,
wondering
yeah.
is because the melanin is on the outside,
Mhm.
like a white roof reflects
Right,
heat in the way
exactly.
a black
Yeah.
roof
That's
absorb.
exactly what
So I
It's
don't
the
maybe
opposite,
maybe
actually.
there's
That's the
there's
opposite.
some credence to white women have more severe hot
Maybe.
flashes
I wonder
than
if they do.
Black women. Maybe
And I
that
just realized
could
my
be.
roof analogy is actually completely wrong and the opposite. Because you're supposed to paint your roof white because it reflects the heat,
Flex, we
whereas
absorb.
black absorbs. But then if black absorbs, you would think you would feel hotter.
But not if we're already used to it.
Maybe you're always hotter. Maybe you just
maybe
run
we're
hotter.
already used to
maybe you just have a higher tolerance. But this goes back
Yeah,
to something I said in high school. I remember my theater history professor looked at me like, I said, wait a second. I said, if heat rises, why isn't hell up there? So the room.
That is an excellent question.
That's a whole theory. You
I
should
know,
write
That is
a
a
whole.
whole theory.
I know.
That's a fantastic theory.
It was, but yeah, I have a few, not many, but a few.
I love that.
Well, yeah, there's the one I have on creationism since we're on this thing about if you think about it, and I literally wrote this in my journal when I was like 14 or 15 years old. I said, if the life of a butterfly or some butterflies is 3 days, and that's their entire life, if you think about God and how immense
Mhm.
God is, the 6 days of creation could be our whole our whole
It could be
Big Bang all
thousands
the
of
way.
years.
Like
Yes.
So at 15,
That's
but
awesome.
my brain stopped working.
Well, I have this, and
So I don't have
listen,
those brilliant thoughts anymore.
I had this
Oh, you have
thought,
some
and
brilliant
I'm
thoughts.
going to say that it was very much weed induced. I have some of the brightest ideas and recipes come when but I had this thought about the Bible and people, Christians, which I do consider myself one. I had this bright idea that the Bible stands for, it's an acronym. It stands for Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. And that's something that everybody has, like, that's been this thing that in the Black culture we always,
I
I've
love
always
that.
heard
I
it.
don't know if I've ever heard that.
I've heard it as a child.
I like the acronym, but I don't know. Like, I started to read the Bible. I mean, and it's so disturbing. I mean, there's things in the Bible that are awesome.
Don't get me wrong,
but
I
the
get it.
stories and
They're
the
very- they're
incest
very-
and the violence and
Of course. I tell people, especially Christians, I tell us all the time, listen, we cannot talk about violence because the blood that was spilt to spread Christianity, we have no room to talk.
Oh,
right, but
right?
things like the Ten Commandments are
Right.
beautiful. I mean, and some of the
Yes.
Psalms and somebody there's some beautiful things.
Proverbs, all
But
of
if you're
this-
going to take it as an entirety and look at, it's okay to like kill your brother or like I mean, those.
well, and this is what gives me pause with the people who are super like literal interpreters, because I think they pick and choose. But I also have a
But
I
if it's
think
not
that,
literal, then you get to pick and choose.
but I also think literal interpretation is kind of an oxymoron because every human interprets.
exactly.
But then the basic instructions before leaving, I heard that as a child.
Wow, I
Basic
love that.
instructions before leaving Earth. I heard that as a child, and while I was nicely elevated, I had this thought, well, if the Bible is basic, what's the advanced level?
Oh,
And I thought that was like very enlightening, because I know people who have read the Bible through and through, and they study it, and they live by it. And I thought, what? Why are you still doing basic shit? If you've mastered it, if you've studied it, don't you move on to a
higher
more
plane,
advanced, a
yeah.
higher plane? I think that's where spirituality comes in, because
Yeah,
it doesn't
interesting.
restrict you as much as the Bible does.
Mm.
The Bible has like the parameters of humanity.
Mhm.
You know, don't just go out here and kill people.
Right.
Love thy neighbor, like
Right.
basic shit
That
you
we
know,
should all know
that we
anyway.
should, you know, not even that we should know, but that we should learn in
Mhm.
order to interact with other people.
Mhm.
But then when we start to be understand that we are spiritual beings before we are human beings, that's the next level.
Well, it's funny you say that, because for the Jews, we observe the Old Testament,
Mhm.
but people who are very advanced, and of course now it's become a thing and everybody studies it. But there was I don't know if there's a rule, but the guide was you cannot study mystical Judaism, which is the Kabbalah, without having a basic. You have to have the basic instructions, which would be your Old
So
Testament.
Kabbalah is seen
So
as like advanced.
Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism, and it is the advanced. And what I remember reading about it is that the danger was that if you went into the advanced without completing the basic, you could go crazy, or it just was not something that was meant for someone who didn't have a strong foundation.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so interesting.
Yeah,
So,
and I think that I and when I had that thought, like, listen, understand this was a very high thought. I'm not going to put too much into it, but I do believe that spirituality is the next level from the Bible. And
So what would that be? Like, I'm looking for an example because I'm not sure I understand.
you know, and it's so hard to explain for me spirituality, because it doesn't. Spirituality for me is it's understanding people even in their flaws. Like, even when we find the ugly, when we see the ugly, it's seeing the beauty even in the ugly. And
it's always finding love,
yes,
and coming from love, and seeing love, and
yes,
understanding that it's all from love.
It's all from love, and it's all seeking love. And that's the thing, like, love to me and love to you maybe something completely different.
Or what
You
we
know.
think of as love. But love is what love is. Love is love is love.
Well,
We can
maybe
call
how
it
we-
something else, but what it is not altered by what we.
Oh, what it
define
is
as.
love, but how we each.
How we define it can be
Is
different.
different.
But
Yeah.
love
Yes,
is
that's true.
ultimately
Yeah.
love.
That is true.
And I think that is where, you know, in Christianity we teach about what we're learned. I've been taught that God is love. Like, love.
Yeah.
If you have love, you have God. You know, if you have God, you have love. And I don't necessarily think I'm like I'm such a freshman in spirituality, because I'm still learning how to balance myself to what I've been taught biblically, how I've been raised, then also my experiences in life, and my desire to be more and elevate.
Yeah, I'm basic.
You know,
I need to bring that back for a second to what we were talking about before, about when you're having a conversation with someone if we were truly coming from a place of love, I wouldn't tell you to fuck off and mind your own business. I would understand that you are a human being who, however, wherever this is coming from in a conversation, I would probably try to come from a place of love instead of allowing myself to be triggered or to be mad or upset or whatever, to really kind of come from that spiritual place of this human being is trying the best they can, even though they may be feeling miserably right now, and bring love into that conversation as opposed to confrontation or aggression or defensiveness or name it, whatever.
But you have a right. Everybody has a right to defend themselves. Everybody,
Well, yes, we have a right,
everybody.
but we're talking
has-
about now spirituality, and
right. But
when
even
we're-
in spirituality, there's there for me. Even in spirituality, I have a whole army around my peace,
right, absolutely,
and I'm going to do whatever to protect
But
that.
maybe instead of an army, it would be better to use a different word. I have a
Set of angels.
shield. I have something that won't let it come through. So maybe a response could be, I don't have time for this today, or I'm not in a place where I can discuss that right now,
Mhm.
as opposed to, it's really none of your business, or why are you even asking me, or what, like always coming from that place of love, which can be no can still
is a
be
good reason.
a
Yeah,
place of
it is.
love. But there's that difference. Oh my God, I had a conversation yesterday with somebody who said something so brilliant. He said, I don't ever say for the sake of argument. I say for the sake of discussion.
Oh, I like that.
I did too.
I really
So
like
again, that's what I'm saying. So it's a way that we use our words,
Yeah.
which creates an energy around them. So if I say I have a battle, an army, or this,
Mhm.
then my response is going to be one that could be
that.
aggressive,
We use a lot
as
of warlike
opposed
words,
to
right?
my peace is protected by a divine light. You know, like it
I
could
like that
be
too.
something that would come from a place that doesn't, because when you attack, not saying that you are attacking that conversation, but generally if anyone attacks, the only real response the other person has is to defend.
Mhm.
Right? So, but sometimes we assume people are attacking us, and that's the thing. Sometimes we assume that people are attacking us, and that wasn't their intention at all. And then things go off on a way that they weren't supposed to be. And sometimes it may be their intention to attack, but beneath that, what was it really about? And
that's why-
seeing that.
And that's why it's not okay to have intimate conversations with strangers,
Right.
because you
Right.
cannot determine all of those factors walking into someone and just like
But you can dismiss them lovingly.
yes, you can.
Okay,
But
that's my
you can also, but that doesn't, if I tell you that's none of your business, that doesn't mean I'm not coming from a place of
Okay.
love. It doesn't mean, because it's not.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I'm not going to make someone desire to know or learn about something more important than my peace.
No, not at all.
But and nor can I put myself in a position where I have to always
No. Answer or give or educate. No, you do
no,
not. Absolutely.
you can't. You and whatever means in which you have in your peace realm to protect it, whatever shield you have. If you run into a shield,
But you
don't
bounce
it
on
knock you back?
Yeah.
It stops you.
It stops you. It doesn't do it politely neither.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, and
I don't know.
sometimes.
I think that there can be
I want some more of that
a
wine right
response.
there.
I think
It's
sometimes.
definitely, but it's a reaction.
I think ideally, the first attempt, or for several maybe, should be a shield. But I think there are cases in which the army is warranted. Because you've tried the shield.
But that, not only that, like I'm going to speak from
Maybe.
a Black woman's perspective, is that we have to have an army.
Mm.
And we have to have that army, mainly because I don't know who said that, and I want to say Kennedy, and I'm gonna find it right here, but it's a quote that the most disrespected person in the world is the black woman. I want to say that was Kennedy, or it could have been Malcolm X. I'm not one or the other, but
But how much more powerful would it be to frame the
Malcolm
response
X. Malcolm X said
what,
that.
from to diffuse the attack, let's say, with a love instead of a a hate.
But what I'm saying is, I think that it's best for that to be the initial approach. But I believe that sometimes that approach will not work. I do not
And
believe
not
it
only
will
that,
always work.
not only that, and like I say, I'm coming from a black woman's perspective. Not only that, that there has been generations of black women who have not even had an opportunity to defend.
Absolutely.
So to now be me, to be blessed to live in a time where I can protect, I can have an army, I can be, and I can do all of that. I am not going to be beholding to protecting others as much as I protect myself because I've already been attacked.
You're not
more.
protecting. I'm just saying don't attack. Like so when I think of, for example, Maya Angelou,
Mhm.
I can't imagine her responding I don't know. I mean I haven't seen enough of her stuff, but she just has this peace. And I'm not saying that we can do this every day because not everybody obviously is Angela, or Gandhi or anybody who's super enlightened. But if the goal becomes let's respond from a place of peace, protecting our boundaries, protecting who we are and what we want to share and what we don't want to share, but doing it in such a way that is not in a like a counter action, and coming from a still place, a place of
Maya Angelou was very much a defender of her peace.
Yes.
Absolutely.
She was very much that, and especially her blackness, because her struggle through life, through her child, her story, for all of the things that she went through, she had to build an army. This woman was molested.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's
But when
like
I
all of
think of
these
her, I
things.
don't think of her like this. I think of her like.
But you think of her that way because she's built up enough defense to know that I'm good.
Right. She may not have been like that at
Maybe
15.
that's what I am saying. What we can aspire to.
Yeah, it's definitely. Maya Angelou is definitely an aspiration. We're talking.
It goes back to what you and I think kind of were talking about before I got here, which is some of that ability to do that comes with age.
Yeah,
and is kind of not
wisdom
possible when you're 15 because you haven't experienced enough.
Absolutely, but I'm just saying instead of like holding on to that, I'm gonna defend. Maybe aspire to. I'm gonna defend from a place where.
Right.
And still I rise.
Right.
I said
Although
this.
let me bring up
you knock me down, and it's still I rise.
Posted
but it's not. And I rise, and I'm in your face, bitch.
Right,
it's I rise.
But let me take an extreme example of this, and it's probably army and all this has got me thinking about it. Right. I'm thinking about the Afghan women.
Oh my god.
Which is, I know, for so many reasons, right? And one of the things I think a lot about this, because it's been all over the news, of course, is that maybe what we should have done 20 years ago is arm and train their women, because they were the ones with everything to lose. And the men in the end just didn't have as much to lose. I don't know. But if I were an Afghan woman, I'm not sure that anything other than a full-on army would do anything.
That's beautiful.
and it goes to what you're saying.
Exactly.
Like
That's exactly what I
May
said.
I?
Read it out
Mhm,
loud.
Yeah.
Okay to read out loud?
Yes.
Oh yes, I saw this. I'm learning how to not respond to the disrespect in ways that disturb my peace. Because I'm gonna respond just not the way you think I should. It'll be rooted in love before it's ever based on hate. And
Amen.
there we go.
Amen.
Amen.
So we agree.
Right, we agree, and I'm saying that because if a Karen comes up to me with the same questions you have, she not gonna get the same response you would get.
I get that, but at the same time,
I get it.
Karens are human beings that are struggling with
I-
whatever the hell they're
And
struggling, and it's
fearful
not your
and-
problem.
Right.
So
I
your
completely
but
get
it
it.
is your responsibility to choose how you respond.
It is, and it
you
is my
don't have to go to Karen level
no
and get all over her.
no.
You know, you can choose, like you said, to respond from peace.
Yeah, and it's always going to be from love. Even responding.
Right.
Listen, I was born in Arcadia, Florida, where they burnt Christ crosses
Oh yeah.
in people's yards. Okay, I've seen my share of racism even in my 38 years, and I still do not have a bone, a cell in my body that caters or even gives room for hate to exist.
Mhm.
I don't care who you are or what you've done. I don't have it in me because that's not who I am.
Right.
However I respond to someone, it is never based on hate.
No.
It is always based on love. So even
And I think if you base it, even taking that a step further and basing it on your peace, because if you engage your army that's defending you, that's not peaceful for you.
no, well, it's not peaceful, but it's protection. And if I'm
But
protecting my
I don't know. I think that there's a piece in there. There's like a click that, again, you can be protected and still not come from a place of, engaging with that person at their level.
yeah,
You see
like
what I'm
we
saying?
choose to engage in the things that we want to.
Right. So you don't have
But
to
I'm-
engage with Karen as Karen. Engage
It's
with
always-
Karen
it can be
as somebody who's
disrespectful.
lost, and I'm not saying that's a good thing. I need to go to the restroom.
Yes.
Where is your restroom?
The door right next to the front door.
Okay.
Right
I'll be
next
right
to the
back.
front door. Oh, and let me grab. That's why we're doing this. We have food.
We will be right back. Can I let the dog in? Okay, go on in, sweetheart. So we'll all be right back. If you're just joining us, we always have food because life requires food. Abby and Serica will be right back. I'm Dawn. Sorry for the crunch. What do we have? We have the Daily Crave tomato basil lentil chips that we're going to try. We have Lily's Classic Hummus, which looks good and also has like a third of the calories of the other hummuses I saw. And then we have the Daily Crave Himalayan Pink Salt lentil chips. And then we have flax muffins, which I'm hoping taste like chocolate brownies, and maybe the flax is good for me. And all of this is from a local store called Living Green, which I love. They have 2 locations, one in Fort Lauderdale and one in Pompano Beach, Florida. And it's just an awesome store and little, like, you can sit and eat, and they have deli type stuff and hot food. And if you're local, it's amazing. But I don't go really anywhere without food. So, and Serica cooked, which is also amazing because she is an amazing cook. And in fact, made some cornbread a few weeks ago that was, beyond a doubt, the best cornbread I've ever had in my entire life. So I'm going to get this ready. Okay, there comes the hummus. I'm gonna close everything up so we don't get flies, and I'll be right back. You coming back with us, or are you staying in there in case you can get
It's like there's food.
Come on, buddy. There we go. Such a good boy. So yeah, I went to Living Green, and I'm always shocked by this.
Ever tried bitchin' sauce? You
No,
need to
is it
try it.
hot?
It's so good. Not at all.
No?
It's made of cashews.
Oh,
Oh my god.
I like cashews. This hummus, I picked up 2 different ones. This one had a third of the calories of the other hummus, and people think that like hummus is hummus, but it's not.
Hummus is and hummus
But it can
is very
vary.
fattening.
Yes, very fattening. And then I got these because I wanted something sweet. We'll see how these are. I don't know. Flaxseed muffins, which I figure flaxseed's good for us, but maybe they'll also taste good. I have no idea.
I'll tell you what I think it is.
I haven't had them before.
Mm.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Good, I hope so.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Are those good? It's tomato basil. This is pink Himalayan salt. But they're both lentil chips. Try one of these. I like tomato basil. None of it's for you. I have terrible news.
Sorry. Goodness, you have beautiful teeth.
He does. He has beautiful clippers.
Oh,
I know you can't see the dog. He's behaving
and I
very
can't
well.
pick him up. He's a big guy.
He is a big guy, but he always behaves.
So good.
He's such a good dog.
Yes, he is. The fan. What a beautiful thought.
I do love moving air.
Yeah.
So I talked to Charlotte this morning. Still no power, of
How's she
course.
doing?
It's all right. I slept on the porch last night because, like, so many
How
people.
far is she from New Orleans?
About 45 minutes. But their whole parish is out of power.
I meant to tell you to grab the plates that
Oh.
were right there, but there's a yellow plate, all of Omega's birthday leftovers. Yeah. You coming in or you staying in or you staying out? Which one you gonna do?
Like a kid, right? In or out? Heard that all the time growing up, right? In or out?
In and out.
In or out? In or out?
So all I had to do was make the Capri salad, and you did all this.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, I had these wings in the refrigerator from when I went out. I didn't want to go and put them in the freezer. So I said, well, let me just go ahead and cook them today. And I've been having a taste for my avocado salad. So,
Oh, avocado
We
salad.
have to do our salad off one of these
I
days.
know,
Right?
right?
Oh my God.
What's a salad off?
We talked about this. It was at least 3-4 years
Yeah.
ago that, instead of a bake off or a cook off, because I said to Serica, I can win the contest for highest calorie salad. Again, she's like, bring it.
Okay, but I call making a blue cheese and bacon
Pretty.
potato salad.
a
I don't know.
what?
I don't know.
All
If
right,
you
well,
can-
that's not mine. So I Abby,
So I don't know. I might beat you.
you might beat me. I make the
I don't
Dorito.
eat bacon, but
You don't eat bacon?
there's no bacon here. Okay,
I should have asked.
that's okay.
Before.
I don't eat red meat, so I'm good with the wings.
So isn't pork the other white meat?
That's chicken.
That's chicken.
No, I'm talking about
Oh
bacon.
yeah, I don't eat mammals.
There we go. There we go. So this is
You eat chicken?
Yeah.
Okay.
this is Erica's avocado salad.
I wish I
Which
didn't
looks
eat.
Fantastic.
I would not eat animals if I could manage to not make myself ill.
Chicken gotta walk by me dressed like a pig. I love chicken. I've all as a kid, that was like one of the only meats
I
would
like
eat.
it. But my
Really?
favorite protein is steak. Oh my god, a good steak.
No, I'm not a steak person.
Oh my god,
And
love
I
steak.
haven't. I guess I'm going.
Maybe
on
it's
4
just
years.
because I'm trying to cook it all the way through, and there's like I haven't found the right range of pink to
Mm.
brown.
Oh, I was like, walk it out, bring it out.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
oh yeah, I eat it.
Oh, no.
Red. I would eat it
Mm-mm.
raw. Oh yeah, hell yeah,
No,
yeah. But I don't eat it anymore. Okay, so no, I need a wing.
This is amazing, Erica. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm.
So the Greeks
Oh
at
Lord.
Easter,
Mhm.
Holy Week, the
Mhm.
week before Easter, we do a strict no animal products fast. I think some people do it for all 40 days of Lent, but we do it that week. Nothing that came from an animal, no butter, no nothing. And then Saturday night we go to church.
These might be the best ones I've had ever.
Really?
So good.
Thank you.
So Saturday night, it's my very favorite service. It starts around 11 at night, and at midnight, all the lights in the church go off. And because we are fearless, we like every single person in that packed inside church has a lit candle. And yes, air has been set on fire, but we just persevere. And starts with the priest candle, and then he lights the next one, and in just a couple of minutes, that whole church is full of candlelight.
Yeah.
And we sing, Christ is risen, fully his. It's this beautiful hymn. Anyway, we then go home at 1, 2, 3 in the morning and have this massive feast where we break the fast, and it's all the stuff we couldn't eat all week.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the middle of the night, and without fail, every time I do that and come home to that food, I get so sick. And I can remember being young and thinking, this is probably a really good reason to be vegan.
It might be because you're eating so late.
Right, but just 1 week of not eating that stuff.
It could be because you're eating
It could
so
be.
late.
That we always eat late. The Greeks eat late all the time. Dinners in Greece 9:30, 10, 11 at night.
So
Yeah. So
I will say this, that I don't like steak. Well, it's not that I don't like it. I don't have to have it. Like I very rarely go for steak, a steak taco, or
Do you
steak.
mind if I eat all of your?
Yeah, you can have them all.
I always go for steak.
I'm a chicken person. I'll go for the chicken. I don't really care for pork, but bacon to me is not pork. It's just a delicacy.
Oh God,
It's
the
just
best.
a delicacy. And I tell people all the time, like, there's no such thing as turkey bacon.
No,
There's no such thing
it's
as turkey
bullshit.
bacon. Like what you have there is a thinly sliced fried piece of turkey.
Mm-hmm.
You can call it what you want, but bacon is like turkey bacon. No, there's no such thing.
Mm-mm.
I love bacon. I do love
Me
bacon.
too. Turkey
But
bacon is
now I don't
terrible.
have to have like a pork chop or
Right.
anything like that. Like bacon.
Even before I stopped eating red meat or mammals, I wouldn't really eat
Pass me
pork.
those
Now I
chips.
do like bacon very much. I mean, I am human, but it's salty, it's fat. What's not to like?
Right,
Listen.
exactly. Which I tell you, we were in that. We'd gone to Seattle.
Applewood Applewood maple bacon.
Yes.
These are good. What are these?
Lentil chips of all things.
Hmm.
Which seemed like a decent thing for us to eat.
I know. These are good. Where do you get these from? Trader Joe's?
No, Living Green, that place that opened on 6th and Federal a couple of years ago. Several years ago now.
You need to have a wing if you haven't had
I'm
one.
having a wing right now.
Is that ridiculously good or what? How do you
Yes.
make this?
The seasonings are garlic powder, onion powder, complete seasoning salt, and thyme, whichever way you want to call it. And then the drizzle on the top is just butter and ranch seasoning
Oh my
and drizzle
god.
across the top.
And then you just stick it in the oven.
Well, you don't drizzle the butter until after you bake them. I bake them in the oven for about 45 minutes on 400.
Oh, so good.
I would normally do them in the air fryer because they get a little crispier.
Yeah.
But that's why I put them on 400 because it gives me a little more crisp to it. And then just do your butter and your ranch seasoning and just drizzle it across.
Sounds healthy.
But I love wings, and
Yeah.
I've gotten away from frying so much. Like if I fry something, it's gonna be like maybe once or twice a year. But I love wings,
Mhm.
so it's like a wing is a wing.
Yes,
It's
it is.
really, do you want ranch dressing or you're just gonna eat it like that?
Right, and the air fryers are amazing. I think technology. is
Mine
incredible.
broke, and I ended up calling Amazon, and they sent me my money back because they didn't have it in stock
Oh,
anymore.
nice.
So I just ordered it.
I did tell you all this. didn't
You
I?
did.
Mhm.
So you better be true to your word.
I don't know. Yeah, so good.
So good and very like melty.
Mhm.
You know. So yeah, we're having Serica's wings.
And she shared her recipe right here.
Right. Hold on. Let me hold up the wings. I'm not good at this, but I held up the salad. These are the wings. They are magically delicious.
Yeah.
And I made a mess.
And they were
Yes.
trying to fly.
Said I wasn't. But you will not escape us. Nope.
I have this bowl.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
I can tell you, other than the living room set,
Mm-hmm.
everything other than the living room set, and I don't even know how he opens the door.
He's very smart.
Want a piece of chicken?
You're not worried about the bones?
His owner give him bones.
Wow.
If it's chicken bones, it's
Yeah.
a splinter.
Yeah. I would be careful with chicken bones.
Chicken bones.
'Cause they
If they're
can
raw, it's
splinter.
okay, but cooked chicken bones are splintery. But I'm a freak, so. But no, I think most people don't do the chicken bone thing. But again, not everybody has a pity who can like chew them into.
I was going to say he may be grinding them
Powder.
into dust, but you do have to be careful with dogs and chicken bones.
He's a chewer though.
Yeah.
He chews everything.
Oh my God, so good.
Yep.
Here, have a piece of cartilage.
Thank you. It's delicious.
And he's so gentle.
Mm-hmm.
That's why my chihuahua's like, you go.
Did you guys see the picture of him and Omega with the birthday hat on?
Mm-hmm. He's so sweet.
Omega loves him.
What's not to love? He's
Kids
the
and
sweetest.
dogs.
Look at all this I'm about to give you, honey.
Oh, there's this Facebook group. What is it called? My daughter invited me to it.
Okay, I gotta ask this: flats or drums?
Flat.
Drums.
Really?
She can eat with us.
I
You and I
can.
might have a little.
That's why we get along.
I'm eating the drums, but I'm a flats girl.
Fish Mending Nets, Inc. It's a Facebook group. Fish Mending
I don't
Nets.
need to mend any fish. Like, what in the hell?
It is only for, I'm looking for their rules. Everything on the site is given away. And they're draconian about we catch you selling anything that you picked up from one of our members, you are gone for good. Yeah, we do not tolerate any resale of items generously given by our donors. Yeah, this is seen as taking advantage of our members and will result in immediate removal from the group. And they ask that you only get things for you or your immediate family. But the stuff that incredibly generous people have given away on here
Listen, I
mean,
live off of secondhand stuff.
right? But
Like-
from food to
Send me an invite
furniture,
to that group.
I will. Food to furniture, Barbie doll house, frozen sheet, brand new frozen sheets for a full size bed, little Tights toy box, baseball pinball game. I'm just scrolling through. Wall unit, like everything you can imagine. It is just awesome. And this is one of the things that is
What is it called?
fish mending nets.
Hmm.
Let me see if I can.
Which I don't
invite you.
understand what that means.
I don't know where it came from.
I don't get that.
There we go. I'll invite both of you. But what a lovely, and this is the kind of thing that I think we all sort of thought in the beginning, right when we were naive, that the internet was going to be used for. Right? It was going to connect people, and we were going to be wonderful, and we were going to be able to give people things
There's
that
a
we didn't
slippery
need anymore.
slope to every side of the coin.
Right, because humans get involved.
Oh, yeah. We're flawed.
We are flawed, and we bring those flaws into every good
Except
invention.
me, I'm perfect.
You are.
Well,
Well, because
You
you become
are.
enlightened.
so I have some news about
Not being perfect, I know. It was a joke. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I have news about,
your guy.
yeah,
Mhm.
we
I was
met.
gonna ask.
Oh. We're
Yeah, no, I'm not
Okay.
going to go into it, but let's just say it was a good meeting.
Oh, awesome.
It was a good meeting. I'll go into detail
Some other
after,
time.
but
I'm so glad.
Abby, I wish you next time I'm going to make it without.
And it's not gonna be the same without bacon.
Listen, because the bacon, maybe put you some turkey bacon.
It's not bacon. Haven't they had for years, was it Bacos?
Bacos.
Right, the imitation bacon bits. They come in a jar, they're by the salad dressing.
Who?
Bacos.
What
BACOS.
they're made of?
God only knows, some chemical soup probably.
Yeah, it's probably they're okay. I mean, if you put him in something, is he okay?
But like put them in a salad and they're fine.
They're all right. They're not bacon.
Let me
Let's
see if
just
they
not,
still make
let's not get
Bacos.
delusional.
I think they do. All right, fine. That did not come from a place of love.
It came from a place of being funny, knowing you weren't going to take it personally.
Oh my
Or
God.
hoping. I didn't
Well,
think you would take it
and there,
personally.
you know what? That is why there's so much you can say to people you know and in person that you simply cannot say to a stranger on the internet.
Right.
I don't even understand
Especially
why
me.
people.
I have such a weird sense of humor. People
Yeah.
don't get
Oh
it.
yeah, McCormick. Now they're called bacon pieces. Oh no, Bacos. They still make Bacos, or somebody's selling them on Amazon. Mm-hmm.
No, well, I buy bacon, actually bacon bits, but I very rarely buy those because I buy so much bacon
Yeah.
that I make my own bacon. Like if I want to put bacon pieces, I cook the
Do
bacon.
you stick it in the oven or do you stick it on
Oven.
the fryer?
Oven is the way to cook bacon.
Mhm.
If you put it on the stove, you're cheating the flavor. It's like almost microwaving.
So I'm just going to add that in addition to our life-changing conversations, we have Serica who's giving us cooking instructions.
We do. I mean, where can you get all of this in one
I
place?
mean, now you've got
Food, religion,
discussions
politics,
about racism, peace, spirituality, bacon, and chicken wings. I mean,
Right.
that's
What
like
could be better?
Listen, this is how conversations are supposed in meetings. Anything,
Yes.
like the post you put, like a meeting without food could
Is
be
an email.
an
Yes.
email. Like
yeah.
Totally.
this is the bread breaking.
And
Like you
it's,
break
and
bread
I think
with
this goes
people.
back thousands of years.
Oh, I
like
agree.
Since the dawn of civilization, people, or before civilization, sorry,
Yes.
like in the cave
What is in this?
days, people would have a feast to gather
Yes.
to celebrate, and that
So-
was the thing.
They look they're a little
No, they look delicious.
well, they're a little let's see.
Give me
I'm
one, let
hoping
me- I'll chase-
they are flaxseed muffins that I'm hoping taste like chocolate while we're getting a little bit of flaxseed because it's
It
good
tastes
for
like
you.
a brownie.
It tastes like a brownie.
Does
and I
it?
love brownies.
Awesome.
I mean, it's not a brownie,
Right.
but it tastes like a brownie.
Speaking of not being what you say you are.
Right. Food might be the only thing that's allowed to not be what it says it is.
Well, other than turkey bacon. Turkey bacon cannot be
An
bacon
abomination.
ever.
No,
Ever.
No.
No. These are good.
but I'm gonna have mine in a minute. I don't even like ground turkey. It's just wrong.
You know?
I make so much with ground turkey because I don't eat
Mhm.
meat anymore. I make the best meatloaf, and people don't even know that it's
Yeah.
turkey.
I gotta taste that. I'm a meatloaf. I love meatloaf, but I don't
Oh, I
eat
do
it
too.
enough. I love meatloaf.
I love meatloaf.
but I don't make it a lot.
Mm.
Do you make it with gravy or like ketchup
Mm.
sauce on the top?
I'll make a relish first.
Oh, I
Mm.
remember you
What I do
telling me that.
is I cut up peppers and onions, and I saute them, and then I use ketchup.
Mhm.
This is a comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
And then that I put it into my meatloaf along with my egg and milk. It makes it so moist, and then I put it over the top. I used to put bacon over the top. Now I put the thing, and it's so good. It really is. It's so good.
A good meatloaf is like it's like a cool breeze.
Mm.
Maybe I'll make it for you next Wednesday.
Don't tempt me. I will be there.
These are surprisingly not bad.
They are good.
Flaxseed, which I think is supposed to be very good for you.
Yeah, you'd have
Yeah,
told
but
me.
I mean everything else in here is probably not, like the flour and the sugar and well, but I had something
Uh-huh.
redeeming.
You go with the bad news. I mean, we were doing good.
Well, that's why they call me Abby Downer.
I was gonna say,
I'm like the last bite.
Another thing, not from a place of love.
Wait a minute.
We're not
This
loving
is what
this.
happens when we switch off from the spiritual, and then I get funny. Funny is not from a place of love, and it's funny to me. I don't know if it's funny to anybody else.
Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't have to be.
But I amuse myself. I tickle myself. I'm like laughing inside.
Oh my
and then,
God.
you know what? That
It's
makes life
therapeutic.
good.
It is. It is. It
I
is.
think about that all the time, and that's another thing that just does not translate online, right? Is humor, sarcasm. Oh my God!
I
People
am
who take
very
things
sarcastic.
seriously.
I am very
Oh, yeah.
sarcastic, and people. I don't even try to do
No,
that on social media
But it's
because I already
weird.
know.
I see some people say something and it triggers everybody, and then some people can say the most outrageous crap, and people are like, they
Oh.
totally get it, and I'm like,
it's very strange.
it's weird. You just don't know which way it'll go.
Mm-mm.
We have to laugh. So Charlotte in New Orleans, right? And we know in a hurricane,
Oh my
Well,
God, they got hit again. Like
16 years to the day. If you wrote that into a movie script or a novel, people would not believe you.
everything that's happening right now.
Right.
If you wrote it into
Right.
a movie,
Nobody
and
would
no
believe
one
you.
would believe it.
No, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So she was going to get cash. Very few ATMs, have cash or open, whatever. And we have a separate account that's joint that has a small amount of money in it so that if and when something happens to me, they have immediate access to cash to pay for whatever they might need. Because she had said to me after Jean died, she was so funny. She's like, so, not for nothing, but like, is any of this paid for you? Because Mom, it's a thing. And I'm like, okay. I did finally go to Prayer a couple of weeks ago. I've been putting it off forever. I went to Prayer. I made all my arrangements and paying for it over time, But she wanted just ready cash, which I get. So we have this account. She texted me yesterday or Facebook message, whatever she did that she was able to do because their service is terrible.
Did they have power yet?
No. I meant to ask her if she's got water. I don't even know if she has water. They slept on the porch last night. I'm pretty sure I dipped into the dead money. I'm like, could you have said that a different way? I understand that you're coming out of a hurricane. I'm trying to be kind and think of you with love, but I really wish your words could have been chosen just a little bit better, sweetheart.
Dead presidents.
Yeah.
then that would have been
Right.
appropriate
Right,
because that's
right.
what they are.
Right, exactly. Oh my God, that's a great way to put it. I dipped into the dead presidents. Oh man, so funny. So anyway, they're okay. The town, the whole parish has no power still, and
I always thought that was neat, but I never really understood the boroughs and the parish.
it's so
Like
interesting, right?
but I thought it's very interesting. Like
It's fascinating.
the boroughs or the parish.
For the county, or the why?
What?
Right,
We know we have city and county.
right, period.
Yes. City and
New
county.
York has boroughs too.
But they're also counties, which is bizarre. So if you were born in Manhattan, you were actually born in New York City, in New York County, in New York State. That is the official name. But nobody ever says New York County. But it is technically.
It's what boroughs is it?
So yeah, so each borough is a county. Queens is Queens County. Isn't that so weird?
Yeah.
But they say borough for
Borough.
however that developed.
But
They
where
don't
did
say
that come
county.
from?
I don't know. That's a good question. We're gonna look it up, which reminds me of that. What was I telling you earlier that Abby, I found this so fascinating. On Point, the great show today about how the
Town or district, which is an administrative unit. British, a town as distinct from a city with a corporation and privileges granted by a royal charter. British historical, a town sending representatives to Parliament. An incorporated municipality in certain U.S. states, each of 5 divisions of New York City.
Yeah, so they're each
So there's 5 boroughs.
and they're each a county.
They're each a county. Got it. So what is Staten Island?
I don't remember if it's Staten Island County. Brooklyn is Kings County.
Okay.
Which why?
And Harlem.
Harlem is part of Manhattan, so New York.
Okay.
Parishes. Louisiana was officially Roman Catholic under both France and Spain's rule. The boundaries dividing the territories generally coincided with church parishes. And that makes sense, and you would assume that since it's called a parish, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why we have boroughs and counties. That just seems like a weirdly New York thing. Although I think New Jersey has boroughs
Well,
too.
New York has a lot of things that I don't understand.
Right, because they're New York and they think that they're different and better than everyone else. And I can say that because I came from
Well, I didn't say that.
there. I did. And I will see, I can again because
Yeah.
that's where I came from. So
Right.
I get to say that.
My cousin lives in New York. She married a New York guy, and she always wanted to. She's from the South. She's up there right now, living
Oh, yeah.
her best life.
Oh, there you go.
I remember I went to visit them, and I had the coolest experience. She was living in Harlem. She lives in Harlem. At that time, they were living in Harlem. And we had breakfast on the rooftop. And I thought that was so cool. I had never.
It is cool.
I mean, looking over the city, and I was like, this is nice. I didn't enjoy all the walking. There's too much walking in New York. The subway, I didn't enjoy. I'm a Southern girl, like, give me some trees and grass and cows.
I like New York, but I don't think I could live there.
I will never live there again. I mean, I like to visit, but that's it.
It's too congested. I was looking
It's the end of it.
there's a little hut up in Jupiter Farm. So I was like,
This is
that
good
would be
hummus.
nice. Yeah, a little hut on 2 acres.
So New York City, 5 boroughs. Each borough is coextensive with a respective county of New York State. Came into the existence, New York City, 1898. All 5 boroughs came into which New York County, Kings County, part of Queens County, and Richmond County were consolidated within one new city charter, blah, 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 blah. It does not say why it's borough versus county.
Homework.
I can't really, right? Let's just talk about not
Abby,
having
what
deep
kind-
thoughts. This seems too hard, and I just can't. I'm not dealing with it. I don't care.
Don and I talked about this earlier. What type of movies do you like?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I guess it depends on where I am in life, but lately I've been watching the detective kind of stuff. But
We're all detectives.
But
We're
no,
gonna
but I
solve a
we are-
crime
we are gonna
someday.
solve a crime.
some of my favorite movies, like I love The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is not a detective movie at
I've
all.
never seen it.
Me either.
Well, you've got to watch it. It's such a great movie. Under the Tuscan Sun, which is a great movie.
Never seen it.
Oh my god, that's a great one.
Is this a love story?
It kind of is, but not. It's a woman. She gets dumped by her husband for a younger. It's really good, and the acting is fantabulous. And she ends up going to. Somebody gives her a trip to Italy, and she ends up spontaneously buying a villa and rebuilding her life. It was really good. I'm trying to remember, because of course I can't remember.
What? Think about your favorite movies too, Dawn.
My favorites are dark, emotional. Things do not go well for people. Those are my favorite movies. And yours are?
I like action and like medieval times. I love like the Roman anything dealing with like Roman Empire, Catholic Church, slaughtering.
And all three of
people.
us are listening to
Like-
the other person and like vomiting. It's so funny.
I love that type of
I
stuff.
couldn't watch Game of Thrones.
I
I knew that
Game
you were
of
going with
Thrones.
that. I couldn't
Listen,
watch it because of the gory.
I-
I turned it on one time and there was a carriage with a hand flopping behind it. I'm
Listen,
like, that's
it-
it. I'm
listen,
out.
I-
I can't do it.
I tell people as a joke all the time, listen, Game of Thrones is the longest relationship I ever been in. It was 8 long fucking years, and I hated the way it ended. I absolutely
Don't give
hate it.
spoilers for people who haven't
The way,
watched it.
yeah, I hated the way it ended, but I loved Game of Thrones. And the thing about
Apparently, I look like somebody in Game of Thrones because I've been told a couple times.
Oh yeah,
I don't know who it is. Obviously one of them.
I didn't watch. This is not enough dark
you,
emotion in it.
well, if with red hair, I would say you look like the mother, Stark mother with red
I
hair.
think she was younger than me. So whoever it was younger than me. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Well, it's good. It's really good. I mean, I can't convince.
I love The Blacklist, which you guys might
Oh,
like.
I'm watching now.
I started.
only on season
It's
two.
just- he
Black.
knows everything.
I love that. He's so freaking smart. And of course it's
It's
so well done that you're not like, oh my God. It's just James Spader's speaking of, I really liked Sex Lies and Videotape, which is an 80s movie or 90s movie that was fantastic.
I think I saw it then and don't remember any of it. But the
with
Blacklist, I was thinking about this actually yesterday. It does require a suspension of disbelief. But if there's anyone I want to be in this world, it's someone.
James Spader.
It's someone in that orbit of his, whether it's the cleanup woman or oh my God.
No,
My
I don't
new
want to be. I want to be
favorite
him,
movie.
not in
I know,
the orbit. He
I
can
know.
kill you at a
I
turn.
know,
right
right?
there.
I love those, and I do. Even as I'm watching, I'm like, this can't. But it's just cool.
He's so
I had
good,
to give
and
it a
it's
few
so smart.
episodes.
I think women who like. So my new favorite movie is Miss Sloane.
I haven't watched that.
Miss Sloane is about, I can't think of this woman's name, but she's very pretty to me. And I don't know if I have like this fetish for white women with red ginger hair, but
I hear you.
oh my gosh, they're so beautiful.
Next week
I
we
don't
Queen's
usually
Gambit?
have her-
Right.
You know.
no wait
oh,
next
yeah,
week
she was
next week we explore Sarah's ginger
Mhm.
fetish.
Oh my
No,
gosh, like they are
they-
so beautiful
Okay,
to me.
so you've got to check out this girl. I think it's Criminal Minds. Is it Criminal Minds? The girl that has the red hair that's long and she's
I have
dating.
no idea.
Oh my God,
What's
what's
the
her
name of
name?
this
I
movie
thought
that
she was
you're-
the hottest
Miss
thing.
Sloane.
Hold on, let me see if it's Criminal Minds. She was so beautiful.
But she reminds me of the I was captivated on Queen's Gambit, that series, because that actress, her red hair and her features, she is just beautiful. Like she was awkwardly beautiful.
Jessica Chastain, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But she had really red hair on there.
On Miss
And
Sloane.
that's the same thing I have. Like I love the Black Widow on the Marvel movies, the red
Yes.
hair. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm so captivated by him, and I think that's why I like Arya Stark on not Arya, well, one of them who had really red hair.
Mm.
Um,
It's very striking.
yes, and it's rare.
It's very
It's
rare.
very rare.
Yep.
It's very rare, and
And I think we're attracted to the rare.
it is. And my natural hair color is sandy red. My son has sandy red hair,
That's cool.
and I'm like looking at him, and I'm like, I see, like streaks of blonde in his hair. I'm like, kid.
Dude.
And then he has these long eyelashes, and I'm like, why?
Right, I know.
Why do guys tend to have the longest,
I know,
most
it's so
beautiful
freaking
eyelashes?
unfair. My cousin was like that.
Yes.
Beautiful.
She-
That people tell me I
Beautiful.
look like.
You do.
Yeah, okay, so she was. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She died on but I know she was very beautiful.
I'm trying to think of this show that I used to watch, and I can't remember what it was. That this redhead was so beautiful. Okay, another good show. Oh, this woman is freaking amazing. How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, Viola Davis.
Oh my God, the
Hello!
best.
Oh my God,
The best.
that was.
I binge
so-
watched How to Get Away with
Well,
Murder.
and there
and
you go. I mean,
I would have been. I'm sorry. I would have been sent all them to jail.
right. Oh,
Because she technically didn't do
Right.
anything.
a master at manipulation. Yes.
She's a master.
And there was another, you had to
And I didn't
suspend
think she was
disbelief.
such a. I think they were all falling on her, but she wasn't. They were just as guilty as she was.
They were
Exactly.
guilty. They did the first murder. Okay, like she never murdered anybody.
But she was like a David Koresh like cult leader where she got people to do.
Yeah,
and she
because
was
they needed
very good
her.
at it.
That the only reason she got them to do it is because she knew what they had done.
Right, right.
You know, so it was it.
And that's, I'm watching the whole time, right? And it's like, guys, you could have just so easily solved this that first time it happened by just coming clean.
But she knew too that who's the first suspect
Right. The wife.
every time? The wife.
Well, Dateline. Back to that, right?
And she teaches a class on how to get away with murder.
Yes, yes.
Come on.
Well, and her relationship, that was a weird relationship. That was,
Oh my
again, to each his
God.
own, but my God, yeah, that was so
the way
strange.
that I was like,
Yeah, it was so strange. But what a great
what
show.
in
Mhm.
the incest
Yes.
inbred
Yeah.
going
I know.
on
It
right
was
here?
gross,
This is-
gross. Oh, did you see? They're doing a new Wonder Years.
Is that the guy with the? Is the Wonder Years the guy with the black jacket with the slick back hair? Am I talking about
There's a brother that was like that. So the Wonder Years was this white middle class family in the late '60s, and it's Kevin, the middle child, is an adult looking back, and Winnie, his girlfriend. It was this iconic show, at least for white people. Although my husband called it the Blunder Years. He hated it because he thought it was sappy. I loved it, and I thought it was very realistic in terms of what it was like to grow up then. So mother, father, 3 kids, and several years it was on the air, and beloved by everybody, by a lot of people who watched it. Anyway, they are remaking it, and Fred Savage, the actor who played Kevin, the middle boy,
Mhm.
is the executive producer and somehow else involved, which is super cool for continuity. But this time it is a black family in the same time period, which I just love. And I think it's Don Cheadle. is
I
the
love
vo-
Don
So
Cheadle.
he's the adult voice of the boy looking back on the childhood. And it looks super good and super promising. It comes out September 22nd, and they're going to tell the story of what it was like for that family at the same time period as the original Wonder Years, which I think is an awesome thing to do.
So, one of my all-time favorite movies is Hoodlum.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's got Lawrence Fishburne in it.
Oh my
Cicely
God, I'm watching
Tyson.
just stand on stage.
Cicely Tyson.
Also awesome. I'm gonna go see.
Did you watch Goliath
No,
Goliath. I think I've seen that.
with
Lawrence Fishburne.
Billy Bob Thornton?
No.
Is that who it is?
Billy Bob Thornton.
I think he's ugly, sexy.
Yes, he is.
I think Angelina Jolie made him sexy.
Maybe.
No, watch Goliath. He's sexy.
Oh, so two of my favorite movies. Incredibly dark, incredibly, emotionally laden. The Ice Storm.
That just on no,
No.
that's not.
It's old. At the Ice Storm and God, House of Sand and Fog, which was a book first. I think the Ice Storm might have been two, I don't remember. But House of Sand, I made all my kids watch it and they're like, you are a ghoul. But the big lesson in House of Sand and Fog is that when people do not bend, they break. And it's a bunch of people that get on their position and won't get off it, and it is utterly tragic what happens. And there's so many places at which it could have been avoided if people would just bend.
I depending on the times, like I love the Schindler's List.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yep.
As tragic as it is,
Right.
I
Right.
love that
One
movie.
that was beautiful, like Human Spirit, and yes.
I love that movie. But I can't watch Amistad. Like I watched it one time. Yeah, I can't. And I think it's more. I think that's more of because it looks like me.
Yes. Yes, that's interesting. So now what's funny is the Ice Storm and House of Sand and Fog totally look like me. But I think there's something different when you're a white person in America watching movies about white people.
I think because we grew up watching Roots and
Mhm.
seeing all of the movies, black movies
Oh, I
were
love Roots.
very much
Roots.
so rooted in telling the story of slavery and
But-
things and it
nothing
just,
else, as if that's the only thing there is.
Yeah, and it
Which
was
is why
just-
Black Panther was so amazing.
Listen,
Oh, the best.
Black Panther was a whole movement for us.
Yes.
Like we literally felt like, and the fact that it's not real,
Right.
you like we didn't care because
No.
it became.
Well, Greek mythology, and I think about this a lot as 100% Greek, right?
And I love movies
How-
like about Greek mythology. I love
I-
movies like
And
that.
I thought this even like I can remember in like shortly after high school thinking like how cool it was to be Greek and have all this Greek stuff be at the root of everything that we were taught, and then thinking about what it would be like to be black and have none of that taught, which really pissed me off, which is what pisses me off about Black History Month, because it excuses people from teaching Black history all the other months when you should be working it into it's just history.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was.
I get the intent was good.
The intent during the time was right. I think
Yes.
it's outdated.
I agree.
I think it's outdated,
agree.
and that's okay.
Like
I
women's
think-
history too.
So I was talking to a friend of mine.
Are you
and-
still looking at Billy Bob Thornton?
No, no. But if you haven't seen Goliath, watch season 1, but not
Okay.
season 2.
Okay.
You've been warned,
I
unless
have
you're
been warned.
into the
Gore.
amputee
Oh,
fetishes.
okay. Oh God.
Yeah, don't start. The first one was so good,
And
and
then-
it's so good that you want to watch the second, and the second is good.
Yeah. But
It's disturbing.
Yeah,
So I
okay.
wouldn't watch.
Thank
those
you for the
two.
warning.
You're welcome.
Goliath.
so
Goliath.
I'm sorry, Women's History Month and
So no, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's a white woman, and I was telling her, she was talking about feminism,
Mhm.
right? And she was just talking, and I'm one of those people that if I disagree with you in an environment where there's an open conversation happening, but there seems to be a collective agreement
Yes,
with
yes,
what you're saying,
yes.
I'm not gonna put
Right.
myself in a position to
You're not gonna be
debate
the one.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna do that, right? But that's exactly where we were. So she was talking about feminism, and there were some other black women there as well. Majority of the people there were black women. She was like maybe one of 3 black women or white women there, and she spoke about feminism and women's suffrage, right? And and there was this conversation about, okay, yes, women's suffrage and the burning of the bras and everything, and and I can remember, and I let it slip, And I said, yeah, but the women's suffrage didn't include black women.
Mhm.
And there was like this eyebrow raising, like I shot a missile
Right,
or something.
right.
But it's true.
It is true.
And I wasn't saying it to say that it invalidates
Right.
feminism or women's suffrage. I'm saying I can't rock with it because it didn't include me.
Right.
Yes, it was good for you. And yes, you should fight for what you want and need and your rights. Yes. But that did not include me.
And right. And
I
again-
gotta find her. This is the
Oh,
redheaded
she's
that I'm like, oh my
She
god,
is
she's hot. If I
beautiful.
liked women, this
She's
should be
beautiful.
This would be.
Olivia Benson is beautiful to me in her like
in an odd
awkward
way, yes,
way.
but she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yes, something about her.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
is.
she's
She's
gorgeous.
like it's just something about her.
There's, and again, 100 years ago, things were different. They had to do what they had to do to get what they felt they needed.
Mhm.
And it's not a dig to just point out, you know what I mean? But going back to what you said about roots and everything, it reminds me of something. There were, Hitler killed 3 million Christians, which we just don't ever really talk about.
Mhm.
A lot of them were Greek, and their villages were burned. And like our family's paperwork, such as it is, we don't have anything before the 1940s because all the villages that my family was from, they were burned and they're gone. So there's no record of anything before then. We have nothing. And so I don't know that I would want to watch a constant barrage of the terror that was levied on those Greek mountain towns during World War II because I think I would find it very traumatic.
Right, which is why Schindler's List I watched once, I won't watch again.
Which is why what's Erica saying about Amistad,
and
right?
I can understand
Right.
why. And
That's so interesting.
Well, Amistad I could only watch once too. I can't think that like it's not just because I'm Jewish. It's because it's just disturbing in general.
Right. Yeah, interesting. All right, it's 2. I gotta go. Do you have any
too.
parting words for everybody?
turkey bacon is not
Non-starter.
bacon. It's not bacon. That's it.
That was deep. I don't know if I can follow it.
I don't either. I'm not sure. But I hope everybody realized, because I realized that a million times, the more different we are, the more we find we have in common.
Mm-hmm.
So have a great week. Talk to somebody that doesn't look like you and make it nice. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Abby, do you want to take some chicken wings?
Thank you though. Those were
I
so
mean,
good. Did you
because-
see how many I ate? I don't
Yeah,
think
but
I
but a
ate
late night
3.
snack.